my womanly roar. Yeah. I'm here.
If he wanted to, he would. Hear me out.
Okay.
So I once lived with like 5 girls, all roommates.
Oh, Lord.
And I was on dating apps. I know a couple of them were. And so I matched with this guy, like really good looking guy, tall, like gorgeous. He would be like typical person's type, black guy. And he wants to see me. He asked me out on a date. So I was like, okay, like, when are you picking me up? And he's like, oh, I don't really drive right now, whatever. And I'm like, okay, so when are you calling me an Uber? And he's like, yeah, I'll call you an Uber. I'll just come to your house, pick you up. We can Uber to the restaurant for our date. And I'm like, great, because you guys know princess behavior over here. You're taking care of me.
Bitch, please.
And so I was in the living room talking with like a couple of the other roommates, and one of the girls, says that she's also going out on a date this week, but the guy that she's going out with doesn't have a car, so they're gonna take the bus together to a date. Now me, you ain't catching me on no damn bus for no damn date. So I looked at her crazy.
Yeah, I told you that bitch crazy.
And I'm like, oh, well, you're okay with that? And she's like, yeah, I understand. He doesn't have a car, and so I don't either. So, he's just going to come by, and we're going to take the bus together to our date. And I was like, if it works for you, I'm happy for you.
Stop the cap.
For me, hell no. So, the night that she was supposed to go out or whatever, I was outside with one of my friends. And then I see the guy that I'm supposed to go out with tomorrow night coming up, like walking up to my place tonight. I'm like, whoa, did he get the wrong date? Like maybe he messed up on the time that we were supposed to meet. So I was about to walk up to him. I see the girl, my roommate, who was supposed to take the bus to the date, go up to my future date and like give him a hug. And they're embracing, and I just found out we're dating the same guy. What? It was that moment that I realized I required more of him, and he was willing to give it to me. She required less, and he was willing to give her less.
We're practical. We're cost-benefit calculators.
It's science.
What pissed me off is we're both beautiful women. We both deserve equal treatment, princess treatment.
Please.
But because I required it, he said, yes, for you, I'll get you an Uber. For her, she said the bus was fine, so guess what? The bus was fine for him too.
You can't make this stuff up.
If he wanted to, he would. Hear me out.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
I went on a date with a guy last week.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
What the hell?
And it was a good date. We had a fun time together. He's a big-time lawyer. He owns 3 to 4 cars. He's doing really well in life. You guys know I'm a model. I'm
Stop the cap.
new to the city, transplant, don't even have a car yet, like still building up my life out here.
Stop the cap.
Regardless, I expect my date to either pick me up or Uber me to the date. That is just my standard. The first date, he was a perfect gentleman. He picked me up and everything. He calls me today for a second date. He wants to go golfing. I said, great. What time are you picking me up? He's like, well, it's out of the way to pick you up. I just recommend you Uber to me and then we can go on our date. And then I wasn't sure if he meant me Uber myself or him Uber me. So I hung up and I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm excited for Saturday, but just to clarify. He calls me up and he's like, can you clarify your text message? And I said, I was wondering what you meant by the Uber. Were you going to call me an Uber, or did you want me to call an Uber for myself? And he said, I recommend you call an Uber for yourself. And I said, oh, well, since this is a date, I prefer you to Uber me, or you can pick me up. And he's like, oh, well, I think you could just do it yourself. And my thing is, yes, I can do it myself, but you're asking me on a date. I expect to be taken care of. Pick me up or call me an Uber. The notion that it's too far or too out of the way for the date, it's an inconvenience for me because now I have to pay for part of this date. I have a problem with that.
What?
And when I think about it, you guys, like, some women, my sister, for example, she won't even pay for an ice cream at the end of the date.
Bitch, please.
And she's been dating her guy for a couple years now, but even the first few months of their dating, she refused to pay for anything. She didn't pay for anything. He was like, can't you just pay for an ice cream after dinner? And she's like, no. And guess what? She moves in with this man. They've been together for 3 years, about to get married. He picked that girl. He didn't pick the girl that was like trying to be nice and pay for her own Uber and pay for her own meal. No, he picked the girl that refused to pay for shit, refused to pay for anything for his ass, and he is in love. He's about to put a ring on it. He pays all the bills. They live together. He pays for everything. And yet, when they first started dating, he tried to play her. He was like, oh, can you just pay for this? No, I'm not paying for anything. Take it or leave it. He took it. So if he wanted to, ladies, he would. Okay, keep your standards high. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, okay.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Hear my womanly roar. Yeah.